Yesterday, my student suddenly told me that he hoped I could record my voice for him as a demonstration and explanation. But it was already the afternoon, and I personally prefer the morning. In the morning, under the bright sun in a big park, singing, or discussing vocal technique with students, that's what I enjoy most. Still, I agreed to help him. I called him directly via Skype, suddenly and unannounced. It was our first time having a video call, and we ended up talking a lot. Of course, I also gave him some vocal demonstrations. He understood very well that my voice and his voice are fundamentally different. His voice, due to long-term habits, is entirely confined to the oral cavity, nasal cavity, and mask area. His sound comes out of his mouth, but his breath goes past the sound, directly stimulating the nose, the mask, the forehead, and soft palate. This is a flawed model. How can I explain this? Throughout vocal pedagogy history, teachers have always spoken about breath support, that the breath supports the sound, with breath below and voice above. A better metaphor is let the voice ride like a horse on the back of the breath. Why do I say the back of the breath? Because the voice must stand firmly on top of the breath. But in my student's case, it's the breath standing on top of the voice. So how is his breath working? All of it is gathered in the oral and nasal mask. That's like putting the breath in prison. My friend, please remember this. In singing, the breath must not be forced or launched toward the mouth, nose, or mask area. For over half a century, almost all tenors have sung this way. Some attack more, some less. They themselves often don't even realize it. Think, for example, of the three tenors. Nowadays, 99.99% of online vocal instruction teaches this very approach. But the mouth and nose mask is the prison of the breath. If you lock the breath inside that prison, how can it flow? Your resonators, your resonance spaces, rely on the movement of the breath to vibrate. That includes your vibrato. Even in that prison, the breath finds a way, it pushes back and attacks the upper part of the vocal cords. Corelli, after age 45, had his vocal cords nearly destroyed by his own massive sound attacking them. That's what's happening with my student. I need to tell him what real tenor singing should be. Yesterday, I gave a demonstration and he understood it deeply. He said my lesson was extremely successful. Haha! And I hadn't even planned on giving him a full-on live coaching session. I had only meant to offer some suggestions. But now, he has made rapid progress in just over 2 months. And from here on out, this will be the real beginning of his journey, possibly surpassing the vocal training of any tenor in the world. I hope he will enjoy this journey of singing together with me. Yesterday, I demonstrated some proper vibrato. I want humanity to leave the old ways behind. I can produce a vibrato with no breath pressure whatsoever and sing it for a full minute. Most people can't even hold it for 20 seconds. Claudio Villa could sustain vibrato for a long time, but I want to set a Guinness World Record for the longest vibrato ever sung by a human being. If my student can do what I do, he will absolutely become the best tenor in the world. My study is based on documents dedicated to authentic tenor singing. These materials have been carefully edited, offering you a wide variety of training in a single day. I personally filtered and selected them. There are a total of 100 documents containing 1,711 songs, performed by fewer than 200 tenors. Why so few? Because I must reproduce the same vocal technique, vocal placement, singing style, breath control, and overall vocal approach as they did. From document 1 to document 100, each includes 17 songs. Just working through one document takes over 3 months. I barely have time to feel happy about my daily progress because the training is so intensive and systematic. The vocal style training I practiced today won't be repeated for another 3 months. Once I train a specific vocal area, I don't revisit it the next day. I'll have to wait 3 months for it to come around again. That's why tomorrow is a completely new day. What songs will I be singing? I don't even know, and I don't need to know. At this point, my body is fully conditioned to adapt to any tenor voice in the world. Every day, the songs are predetermined. I never check them in advance. I just know that if I've trained a specific technique or vocal area today, I won't train it again until 3 months later. That's why I treasure every single day of vocal practice, because for over 3 months, every day targets a different part of the voice. At the same time, I also dedicate time to studying individual singers like Luciano Virgili, Fernando Orlandis, Daniela Serra, Claudio Villa, Caruso, Giacomo Laurivolpi, Tito Schipa, Richard Tucker, and others. So I say this to my student: only by completing this massive amount of training will you have the possibility of surpassing every tenor in the world. That's why we must make every moment count. Effective vocal training is everything. Today, I practiced with document 45 and I received excellent training from it. In the document, I came across a song, Carmela by Francesco Albanese, and I believe this song can help my student correct his mistakes. In this performance, Francesco Albanese sings entirely from a very low chest position. The oral cavity, nasal cavity, and mask are almost non-existent. This kind of soft, restrained singing powerfully activates the abdomen. About a month ago, my student told me, "I can feel the breath in my abdomen," but that was only the most minimal level of activation. What you actually need is to place a massive boulder of breath, an extremely heavy one, deep in the lower abdomen so that even the internal structure of your abdomen is changed. It's not about just feeling the breath in the abdomen. No, it's about using breath to destroy the normal abdominal structure of an average person, which is unfit for singing, and to rebuild it into one suitable for singing as a dramatic tenor. It's not about feeling something and being satisfied. It's about performing surgery inside the abdomen through breath. I'm always puzzled by these fake voice teachers who never talk about the creation of abdominal structure. They only ever talk about so-called techniques above the vocal cords. But remember what Giovanni Lamperti once said: all techniques above the vocal cords are illusions. In the end, I still want to say this. I hope my student can join me in practicing and exploring vocal technique together in the morning, Japan time. True mastery begins with imitation. I can study together with my students through imitation and guide them by explaining how each singer sings, what their vocal placement is, the shape and angle of their resonance chambers, how their breath is positioned, how much breath tension they use, and more. Today, for the first time, I realized that each singer has a fixed combination of these vocal elements. Let's call it a configuration. For example, if you're imitating Di Stefano, you're using configuration A. This is characterized by large oral cavity, throat and pharynx-driven power, completely relaxed lower jaw, like upper body leaning slightly backward, and the voice feels like a rubber ball sliding down to the lower abdomen to trigger the tone. Once you achieve configuration A, you can sing the entire song exactly like him, from start to finish. But if you switch to another singer, like Carlo Butti, you must use a completely different configuration B. This involves tension in the lower jaw area, breath emphasizing the nasal cavity, upper body not leaning back. Instead, the bridge of the nose arches forward, and the forehead is lifted straight ahead with intention. Once you enter this configuration, you must stay in it. Don't let it collapse. Don't relax, even after the song ends. Whether you're singing high or low notes, you remain inside this structure. Then, you are Carlo Butti. But here's the key. You cannot sing like Carlo Butti using Di Stefano's configuration, and you cannot sing like Di Stefano using Carlo Butti's. My friends, do you understand now?